Woo! 2020. Halfway there. Happy birthday, son. 9 years old. So, 9 years to go. It's moving fast. At least faster than it seemed to be before. Yes, it's single digits now. It's easier to see that finish line. Only got to make it 9 years. It's a good thing. Hope you're doing well. That this Rona hasn't messed with you guys too much. Not to been impactful, but as of yet, no one I know went down from it. Can't go see your Uncle Sean because the ALS, especially it's that vent thing. Can't take the chance of passing something on to him. I'm hoping it'll get all cleared up. I can see him at least. Go hang out with him a little bit before it's his time. Got a 10-week trial retirement. It's not the Rona, it's the cigarettes. But which is nice. First time I didn't get antsy about not working ever. Or at least since my teens, probably. Of course, I knew I had a job coming, so it wasn't a big a deal. But with the other stuff going on in the world, in case the world has forgotten it went back to normal, which is probably what's going to happen. There's a lot of protests. A lot of people abusing those protests are going on right now. A very divided country. Again, I do these so if I do get to see you, you can see that I have been thinking about you every day. Every day. It's been 6.5 years since I seen you the last time. And I still start and end the day the same way. I don't have to think about it, it just comes to me. When I wake up, the first thing I remember is, well, it's not used to be, it was just every morning the first thing I thought of was the little lecture thing you gave me. It was so cute. And I still think about that all the time. Anytime I think about you, I think about that because it was so awesome. But I remember other things too. Like the first time I gave you the harmonica or the guitar or one of 50 million other things. You pulling on my mustache. I'm not suffering your memory. I'm enjoying your memory. It brings me peace. Makes me feel good. But it's also so that if I don't, these things here, I'm still probably about 80 pounds overweight. If I don't get this stuff under control and I don't make it, my sincere hope is that you'll be able to find this stuff. So I'm putting it on YouTube. And I always post it on my Facebook. I don't know how long that stuff will be around. I'm sure it'll be something else big by then. I'm just hoping you'll be able to find it. and see that I never forgot you. I never didn't want you. Um, but because of what's going on, there are those little truisms in life that hopefully you learn for yourself, as for the most part I did. And again, I'm not the wisest man in the world. The decisions I've made in my life prove that. I'm not the smartest man in the world. I'm intelligent, but I still do stupid shit. But there are some things that just logic dictates what they are and what they aren't. There is only one race of people, son. It's the human race. White, black, yellow, red, green, purple, whatever the hell. The only thing is the amount of sun your ancestors got and the type. Maybe their diet. But it comes down to boil it down to a real simple part of nature. Is that if you can breed, you're the same. If you can't, you're not. Being an old country boy, farm boy, more country than farm, I've seen some stuff, and something that my stepdad, who was my daddy, my namesake, was told to him, and it sounds a little nasty, a little disgusting. Damn thing won't say that, but it doesn't make any less true. Have you ever seen an old stallion, a stud horse, mount a cow? I have. An old stallion, he don't much give a damn. Bulls the same way. Kind of like humans. We don't really care. If we can smell it and it's ripe in the air, the old motor starts getting, our brain goes away. But I have seen a horse fuck a cow that was in heat. Cow didn't have no little horse or no little hounds or no little horses, no little Mustang with a set of horns on it. I've seen dogs humping cats. Even seen one cat hump a dog, but really not sure if that was ever anything that would have actually been able, because anyways, there were no little dats or cogs running around. They got it on to completion, but they're not the same. A horse and a donkey can mate and have offspring. It's called a mule. There's a real interesting thing about a mule, though. They're sterile. The only thing that comes from a horse and a donkey, which really pretty much look just a little bit different size of one another, is a mule. They're really close, but they're not close enough to provide a lineage. In other words, their issue can't have issue. But if you go off into the the exact opposite part of the world, somewhere in Asia, it'd be Southeast Asia because we're a little bit north, or anywhere else, and you find someone there warm and willing, there's a chance that you'll have issue that will grow up and have issue of their own as babies. I don't know why I'm calling this issue feeling intelligent right now. So because I'm feeling intelligent, I'm speaking intelligently. Who knows? There's good, there's bad, of all different races, creeds, colors, religions, all of them. Most of them are in the middle, man. Most Muslims don't want to kill all Westerners or their neighbors. They just want to raise their family and go home. They want to make a living so they can feed their kids, watch them grow to bring up the next group. Same as white people, black people, brown people, yellow people. It doesn't matter at all. And it's a pipe dream, but I really, really, really do hope that change comes. But it's doubt. Because it's really not about white or black. It's about haves and have-nots, power and not power. When things start getting ugly or threatening to those who have, this stuff all of a sudden jumps up. And it's not about right or left there either. It's just how they position one side against the other, because he is hating on him and blaming him for all his stuff. But they're too busy hating and arguing and fighting to be looking back over here where the real shit's going down and the people who are mopping up. As far as the police thing, well, there's a reason I never wanted to be a cop. It was because I'm not made to be a cop. A cop needs to be above and beyond, not just someone who will take the job. They need to be more set here emotionally to do the job. You don't, it's not about your authority. It's not about if, well, they did this, so we can do that. Cop is supposed to be above that. Not all of them were when I was growing up either. Sure as hell wasn't as prevalent as it is now. And it's not that the cops were racist. I don't even know if the cop that started this whole brouhaha off in Minneapolis this time was racist. From what stories came out, it looks like it was more of a personal thing between him and that guy. But it doesn't matter. He's a cop. He's supposed to be above it. The three guys that were standing around, the other three cops that were standing around watching and let it happen over 10 minutes. Or damn near 10 minutes. They're just as guilty. If not more so. Because they had the power to stop it. They had the benefit of not having a personal thing. And they did nothing. And maybe it's a personal thing. I've always had a problem with doing nothing. I've always been of the mindset that if you have the ability to put a stop to something or alter something or step in, if you have that ability, then you have the duty to do so. When you're just going through your custody stuff, going through the courts, and I had already fired the attorney and stupidly not hired another one. And we're going through yet another thing of things, yet again. Had to get looked at by DHS. Because they filed a complaint because I was playing with the Hot Wheels with you, and I had a little plumber's crack showing. Which is funny because you were in front of me, you couldn't see the plumber's crack. They could. But anyways, anytime that something like that is said, then DHS has to get involved, which is a good thing. It's a good thing. It was really good in this case too, because DHS got involved and they looked at it and they said, oh, what the hell are we doing here? But there are a lot of times they're needed to step in, so I didn't mind. But they wanted to talk to some people, and I'm getting it. It does bear in it. Give me a sec. I know, taking a while. When they called your Uncle Sean and asked him, and I just told him someone was calling. I didn't tell him what it was about, because I didn't want to affect anything anybody said. I didn't want to get any reason to say there was any collusion or coaching. I just wanted straight honesty. Be honest. That was the only thing I told him. He asked me what to say. I said, just be honest. No matter what, just be honest. And kind of helped, kind of not. I don't know. But when they asked your Uncle Sean what he thought, and then later on when he told me about it, I thought about it, and, it's pretty much dead on. At least it was. I'm old now, so I stay hiding in my little house here. Go to work, maybe stop, get something to eat on the way home, and that's it. I'm too old. I don't heal as well as I do. But anyways, I digress, which I do. A lot. Your Uncle Sean told him, said, when you see somebody beating on a woman or on a kid or doing something like that out in public, and you're like, I should do something, or I should call something, he does. He just does it. Doesn't stop, doesn't think, he just does it. And he's right. I did. I had the ability to. Most times it helped nobody except for that 5 minutes. But it never dissuaded me. And to be honest, it still doesn't. Every now and then something will happen and I'll get involved. I know it's not helping anybody. Not because the opportunity's not there, just because they won't take it. Her point. If I had sort of let my hair grow again, I'd show you. It's got several lumps and bumps and rips and lots of staples and stitches in this whole thing. It's got one comes right across here, fading away pretty good. Now just a little, almost looks like a little zipper, but one of the real tiny ones where you don't see the teeth, just a little line, like a zipper in baby's clothes, across the top of my head. I walked out of this bar. I wasn't hammered, but I was pretty well. I was lubricated. But we walked out the back door because we parked out there. And this big old redneck, 6'3", 6'4", his shoulder was right about there on top of my eyebrows. He had this little girl, smaller woman, kind of girl, but smaller woman, probably 6 inches off the ground, pinned against the wall by her neck. She was purple. And I just started whooping the shit out of him. Did my favorite thing to do back then was held him down on the ground and give him a lecture every time I hit him. Don't you ever do this shit. It was my thing. I was doing it for the right things, but I was still an ass. And even though I was doing it to bullies, I was bullying bullies. Something I like to do since when I first figured out that I had a really hard head and a good right hand. But anyways, while I'm doing that, over here, unbeknownst to me, because I'm gone. I'm focused. This lady got up, saw what was going on, went over to their truck, got this motorcycle chain out of the back of the truck, and laid it across the top of my skull. 27, I think. 27 staples. And then a couple weeks later, those got ripped for some other stuff, and they went back in and did stitches. But it might have been a year later, something like that. But a friend was in town, and girl I called my cousin, she's gone now, but she was full-blood Apache, and she was about 4 foot tall, and if you laid her on her shoulder, she was about 4 foot wide. Just a block. Really nice girl, but she was just a block, cinder block. But she came to town a couple days. She wanted to go out, find her a cowboy. So we went to, it was actually a different bar. First place, if I remember right, it was Tulsa City Limits. The second place was a place they called the Caravan. It was country and other stuff too, but as we went in there, she got a couple phone numbers, guys she was going to call later. We played some pool, danced. We're leaving, and we hear this. Couldn't figure out what the hell it was. Keep on walking down the parking lot. There's this, see this guy, and he's got this girl, his hand wrapped up in her hair, and just smashing her face into the side of this truck. Now, I knew, because I was there the first time, as soon as I saw him, it was the same guy and the same girl. Intelligence, logic, usually try to pride myself on thinking logically, would have told me, leave it alone. Obviously, this is something she needs in her life. But logic was already gone. Probably was from 2 cars before, when I was pretty sure I knew what was going on before we ever saw him. It clicked in me. Now, my friend, she had no idea. I mean, I told her about my trip out and getting my head laid open. But as soon as we saw him, I went over there, drug him out in the middle of the aisle, started whooping on him again. I wasn't giving him a lecture this time. I was just beating him. I was going to hurt him. Figured if nothing else, and I think this is what I was thinking. To be honest, I don't know. But just knowing me, I'm thinking this, the longer I put him on the shelf in the hospital, that's more that he can't touch her. And maybe she can get clear in her head. And even now I can look back and all of that would be all right if I had remembered the last time I did this bitch laid my hand open and at least kept an eye out, but it didn't. You know, of course, crowds started gathering anytime there's a fight. And especially because, I was decent size. I was 5'9", 200 pounds. Probably like 6'7", same body, but I was boxing stuff. I was intimidating enough. Looked well enough, but I mean, it wasn't like, look at that fat guy beating on him. I wasn't fat back then. But, my friend's standing there watching, cheering it on. And she sees this chick get up, yell something, and then reach in the back of the truck. She looks over in the back and sees that motorcycle chain coming out in her hand. So she proceeds to whoop that girl. That poor lady got beat up twice. But by then the cops got there, or were pulling up. And they couldn't get me to stop before the cops got there, so of course, got a little out of control. But, my dumbass explained to the cops my side of what was going on. Of course, they're saying that I just came out of nowhere, beat the hell out of him, blah, blah, blah. And I told them, yeah, I saw what was happening. I saw this again. I saw this just a couple months ago. Same two. It's over at Tulsa city limits. What happened then? Well, I was beating him up, and then she hit me with a motorcycle chain. The cop goes, "Are you stupid or what?" And I said, "I don't know, I'm stupid." And that's what my friend said. Well, that's why I hit her, because she's getting a motorcycle chain out of the back of the truck. And this cop walked over there and looked in the back truck and picked it up. And this motherfucker still had my hair and pieces of my scalp in it. It'd been sitting in the back of that truck probably 6 or 8 months. And it still had the little stuff in it. Which is why they didn't take me in, thank God. Thank you, Officer Pearson. I appreciate that very, very much. But some people, they like it this way. They like bad. They like having someone else to blame. I went a whole long way there to say, don't do the stupid shit I did. We'll add that message in. That's how you get this. I don't do drugs. I got all mine honest. They got knocked out. None of them actually got knocked out except for one way back here. But they got cracked. And I may be willing to tackle a grizzly bear with a willow switch, but I'm scared to death of the dentist. I don't know why, but I am. But they're not rotted out and gone. They're broke. But don't do that stupid shit. There's other ways to handle it, but I got off track, as I do. It's when you get old, you start remembering about the good old days. Or the bad old days. They were good. I don't regret it. The weekends that I spent, most of it in jail, I got off. Most times I got out just, they released me on Monday morning. Which is part of it. I think that's probably where I was going with that. There is a difference in being, there is no difference between you and a black kid your age, or an Asian kid, or a Latino kid, or Native kid, or an East Indian kid, except for your upbringing. And the bad stuff in your upbringing, you can go with that. Everybody knows right from wrong here. Not from what you can convince yourself or somebody else that I can do this, because you know what's right and what's wrong in your heart. If bringing yourself joy brings somebody else agony, then that's wrong. You find another way to get it. But there is also a huge difference in the experience. And again, I hope to God it's changed, but I know it didn't. It hadn't changed now from the time when I was a kid. Buddy Leo, he's 6 months younger, 7 months younger than I am. 6 or 7 months younger than I am. But his daddy gave him a talk that his grandfather gave him to his dad in the late 50s. And his great-grandfather had given to his grandfather in the 30s. 19. 30s, 19. Well, we ain't that old yet, never mind.